change the world.
On we go.
That is my PR person. We appreciate you so much. Good morning, beautiful bookish family. Welcome back to Coffee Over Apples, or welcome if you're new. This is a vlog for the SPSFC. Wow, I finally said it correctly, which is the self-published science fiction competition. So I've decided to vlog my experience judging because we have quite a few books to get through and it's going to be a year-long process. And that winner is going to get an awesome ray gun trophy that was announced on Hugh Howey's YouTube channel. I'll leave a link for it below because it was like literally the coolest trophy ever. Like, I want a ray gun trophy. My team, Book Invasion, is reading 30 books. The goal of the phase we're in right now is to read the first 10 to 20% of each of the 30 books and just vote yes or no as to whether from that taste test we would like to continue reading it and we suggest it for the rest of the team, or it was just a no-go. I'm going to be reading a couple books in this vlog. I'm going to try to read a few so I can break this phase up into a handful of vlogs and give you suggestions as to maybe you should check these books out, or if the book didn't work for me, I'm thinking I'll still maybe give a suggestion as to like what kind of readers might enjoy this book. Trying to give some boosting platform to some self-published authors. I am starting out with the Wakeful Wanderer's Guide to New England and Beyond by Infantino. I'm going to read 10% of it and then let you know in a little while if I enjoyed it and I vote yes, or it wasn't for me, I voted no, and what that means for you. We're going for our morning jog. Yeah, jogging. Yeah, yeah. Hello, bookish family. Update. So I read my 15% of the Wakeful Wanderer's Guide and I voted yes. I thought it was a really good start to the story. We had a shift in perspective in chapter 2, which I thought was really interesting because it had this concept in the beginning of sexting, which is like messages sent directly to your mind, which that makes me really uncomfortable, and also like questioning what are social norms when people decide to talk and actually using their vocal cords, and how that's like not a common thing in society anymore because of advancements in technology. And then the next chapter, there was like post-apocalyptic chaos. I thought it was really interesting. I'm voting yes. I'm interested in reading more. So I'm going to pause that for now. I'll put in my vote with the team and then pick up another book. Next, I've decided that I'm going to pick up Percival, Gynt, and the Conspiracy of Days because that synopsis just has me hooked. All I know is zombies, wizards, apocalypse, dark secrets, beating up Nazis, and random goodness is what it sounds like. So that's where I'm going next. I'm gonna read 15 to 20% of that and let you know if it's a yay or a nay. So many things happening. Is that what they're calling it in English? A golden brown corn sandwich?
Yeah, we could try one.
Wow, right? Wow, okay.
That? The golden brown corn sandwich?
You mean an arepa?
Yes. Yeah.
What is this tomfoolery? What? I am about like 5% into Percival Gynt, and what is happening? What is happening? Okay, I knew that there was a lot of buzzwords in the description that got me really excited for the content that was in this book, but I have some thoughts, and it's not really going well, but it's still really intriguing. So far, it's very fast-paced. The world there's enough slight differences where I feel like I'm in the future, but the fact that it's at 18,000 years into the future, I don't know that there's enough differences yet. Our main character is making some questionable decisions, which makes me feel that either he's going to be morally gray, which is fine, I really enjoy a morally gray character anyway, or I'm really gonna despise this main character because they're just like a super jerk, right? Things escalated very quickly, but there's some concepts that I'm just like, wait, why? There's a big shootout, the cops come and they start trying to do a shootout in the middle of a train station. Interesting, we're not worried about casualties, and it's like 18,000 years in the future and we're still, like, mass shooting still a thing? We haven't solved that yet? Then our main character in the first couple pages just so coincidentally happens to have a bulletproof umbrella. The level of coincidence that's happening so far in this book is a little bit too much for my taste. Like, there's only a certain level of coincidence that I find plausible and am willing to suspend belief for. And the fact that I'm only 5% in, and that's already happened a few times, I'm kind of leaning towards a no on this one, but I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna at least give it until like around 10-12% to make my decision as to whether I'm gonna say yes, move on with this one, or no. Houston, we have an interesting problem. So, reading The Cult Shadow by Peter Lamb, and at about 3%, I was like, whoa, this sounds really good so far. I'm enjoying that the prelogue or the prelude was from an interesting, like, archaeological perspective, and we're learning about religion. The narration, is it from God? Is it, like, who is narrating? The caste system in this world is very interesting. We've got, like, socioeconomic challenges, and our civilization is so far in the future that they don't even know where humans originated from. I think the concepts in here are spot on, and I was ready to vote yes. However, I am now at 5% and confused. The dialogue is not doing it for me. The dialogue is really weird. The characters all speak the same, and they all speak not the way that people actually talk. Like, there's no dialect. I would think that variations in dialect, and no one really talks the way that you write professionally, but everyone seems to talk the same. They enunciate and pronounce each syllable grammatically correct. There doesn't seem to be any slang within this language or terms of endearment. I don't know how to feel about this. So, I'm really conflicted. I feel like there's certain opportunities here where the author could show us and not tell us. So, I'm gonna keep reading before I make my decision, because that switch happened like way too fast for me. It was, yeah. I'm a little lost right now. We'll try again. 30 minutes later, and it's gonna be a no from me. This hurts. This is so hard. Like, it's really hard to say no, because I know that these works are the brainchild of some amazing creators, and I think all of these books have so much potential. But I gotta be really clear and say what's working and what's not working. I can't get past the dialogue. There's no cadence, I think, is what's missing here. Again, it continued on the track of, like, exploring this class system, and our main character got a scholarship. There was a scene where they ended up getting like kicked out of school in the first chapter or so, or second chapter, because they were getting bullied by someone of a higher class system. But I would think that there should be a little bit more nuance into how the main character handled this, knowing that they are representing the minority, and yes, you're in a really messed up situation where you have to like walk on eggshells, but we didn't really get to see the walking on eggshells. We saw abuse. I feel like there's just other ways to create more in between the lines reading, or create more opportunities for understanding the depths of prejudice and racism and like the levels that these people are being taken advantage of. But it kind of feels like it's not happening. I'll probably end up maybe picking this up sometime in the future, but for now I'm gonna have to vote no. About to try these dumplings. Which one's that one?
This is the beef.
Beef dumpling.
Okay.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
Ooh, it's about to break. Okay, I got it.
Ooh! How is it? Ooh! Are you okay?
It's so good. It's so good. It definitely is oily.
Okay. Hey. Oh, it's about to rain. Oh.
It's really good.
Gonna Zumba. Hey. Hey. Update. I finished The Clarity of Cold Steel, and this is actually, I was a little bit torn about this, but in the end I think it was pretty clear that I'm gonna have to pass on this one. I'm gonna have to vote no, and I think that it could possibly work for some other people. It just didn't work for me. Reason being that at first I was really enjoying it. The plot is really interesting. It's a detective story. I believe our main character and a lot of surrounding characters, they're described as Hindu, but I believe they're on other planets and we have aliens and things. The aliens sound really cool and the world building was very interesting. This detective is taking on a case of a missing boy. It could be gang related. There's someone with a lot of money that's coming and asking to help with this. There's some sort of family drama, right? I think it has a lot of potential to be a really great detective story, but what ultimately made me feel that I was going to have to vote no on this is the representation of women in here. I, as a woman, noticed that every woman that was present in the story was there for a kind of stereotype that was being presented. Our main character came off as a little bit unlikable. He came off as just a jerk, which is fine. I am totally down for an unlikable character every now and again. I don't have to like any character. I think I've said this a bunch of times in my videos where I don't have to like a character in order to enjoy a story because I'm a plot-driven reader. But it does bother me when every woman that's present is either making illogical choices or is kind of just a sex symbol. A very stereotypical kind of, like, she has long, flowing blonde hair, red hair, blue eyes. Another woman is there just to be like a secretary, or out of all the family members that could help potentially aid the situation of finding the missing child, the mother is the least helpful, and she's just kind of, she's classist, but at the same time, so is our main character, and there is some sort of commentary on class system, but I don't know that it's very clear as to whether that is going to be addressed later on, and that this is a setup for something more. Additionally, the transitions between chapters just weren't working for me. However, I think if you're looking for an interesting detective story set on other planets where we have strange creatures and things happening, you might like this. But next, I'm going to try out The Stars Within. This one, I believe it's the first in a trilogy. I don't know if there's going to be more than 3. I think there's only 3 books out right now. But this first book, all I know is our main character, I think she's a slave in this corporation where they enslave people who have these magical powers. I'm not sure what kind of power she has. Maybe it's not magical and make it seem like they're actually better off, but they're not, and she's trying to escape or something like that. Sounds really good. I'm gonna give it a try and then let you know how it goes. I think that'll be the 5th book for this vlog. I haven't decided yet how many books I want to include in each of these vlogs because there's 30 books that I have to get through. I want to know how the other judges are doing. We're all going on our own pace, and it's pretty cool talking about them, just kind of seeing everyone's different opinions. Some people are voting yes on things, and some people are voting no on some other things. That's totally okay. I think it's really cool that we have so many teams so we can have a variety of answers. But, yeah, that's where we're going. Wow! Wow! I always wanted to be one of these.
Do 360.
Hello! Can you see the bags under my eyes? It's raining outside, and I'm in my car. That's what that noise is. But anyway, hey! I haven't updated in a while, but I finished 2 more arcs for the self-published science fiction competition. Ha! Finally saying that correctly. I decided to go with The Stars Within. I ended up voting yes for this. I think it was off to a really good start. We're in a world where there's telepaths, or rather psychics, who are able to move things with their mind, and so they're kind of weaponized by this military. They're respected, but out of fear, and our main character has the ability to use telepathy to communicate with individuals who are in these war zones to get them out of the way. There's a lot of politics, and it's very interesting. There's some action. I'm digging it. The writing style is so far great, and all of our telepaths or psychics are female, from what I understand. So I'm voting yes for this. I think it was very interesting. It was pretty clear from about, I want to say like 6 or 7% in, that I was going to vote yes for this. And then after that, I decided to go for the Orthogonal Galaxy, which, if I'm not correct, that title makes me think parallel worlds, and the little bit that I read in the percentage that I read in order to vote for this, it's dialogue heavy, but it's also heavy on the physics, or heavy on the astronomical physics. We're following this young boy who, I call him a boy because he's written a little bit young, even though he's supposed to be a first-year grad student. I don't know how I feel about the first chapter, or is it the second chapter, where he's in a foundational graduate class that also has undergraduates. Is it at UCLA or is it California State University? I forget, somewhere in California. I have never heard of graduate students and undergrad students taking the same class as a requirement, or especially a class that was not specifically connected to their major. Because it was also mentioned that in that class there were students who were only taking that class for credits not related to their major. However, I think there might have been one class when I was an undergrad that I took that was a graduate level course, but that's because it was extra credits that I needed specifically in relation to my major, and in graduate school, at least in my graduate school, we don't have any classes that are gen eds or something that an undergrad would take. Something that you do or that you've seen in your school, let me know. Or if that's part of a program, I don't know. I'm kind of struggling to understand if this book is set in the present or the future, but I think there's parallel worlds, or at least there's dual timelines. I think I'm understanding this correctly. But ultimately, I decided to vote yes because I was enjoying the pace of the story. I was enjoying the pace of both of these stories, so both of these are going to get a yes from me. And I think that's all the books that I'm going to read in this vlog. Credit goes out to the authors who are putting their work out there, because it's really brave of you to enter into a competition for a book that you've self-published. I, as an artist, commend you for the courage that it takes to submit to these competitions. So I appreciate you giving me the chance to read this book. If anyone is interested in finding out the thoughts of other judges who are reading other books in this competition, I'll link some of the other channels that I know are keeping up to date with the reviews of the books in this competition. And there's some blogs as well in case you want to check those out. There's book clubs, affiliate links, and all that jazz in the description below, different ways to support my channel. I post videos every week. See you later. Bye!
What's it making, Mr. Wonka? Mr. Wonka worked the factory.